All right, here we are. We've started. It is another episode of Start the Beat podcast, aka Strangers in My Fucking Basement. Once again, I have another person here that I just met maybe about 15 minutes ago, but also have somebody else in the building that we may or may not be named, or you may or may not see them on the show next week. We'll see how that goes. But everybody, please make some noise. The one and only, as far as I know, Badluv is in the building.
Hello, hello.
How you doing, brother?
I'm great. It's great to be here.
Hey, it's great to meet you. Great to talk with a fellow musician in our Pittsburgh neighborhood, community, city type of thing.
Yep.
And I'm excited to pick your brain a bit more just about your process, your views on creating music, your views on promoting music, your views on all of it. We're going to get into a whole thing.
I got a lot of it.
It'll be a fucking buffet of creativity today.
I'm just glad that we can swear.
Oh, yes. Yeah, feel free to
say whatever the fuck I want.
There you go. Get it out, baby. So yes, why don't you explain it since it's your music?
Yeah, I mean, it's really come a long way and changed throughout the years. When I really first started music, I was just a rapper. Like I was just doing straight rap music. And once I realized that wasn't really going anywhere, I started experimenting with singing and started making pop music. And then it's just kind of evolved into this thing where I just go into the studio and make whatever I want. And that's not to be like, oh, I'm this artist that blends all these genres and I'm super different and I'm, cooler than everybody else. It's just like, I just have a passion for making what is fun to me. And, I write all my music, like the lyrics, all my music I write. And that never changes. What I'm writing about, what I'm writing for never changes. But what I put it onto, whether it's a metal record or a hip hop, R&B, pop, whatever I'm feeling at the time, it's still the same spirit. It's just different genre. And it's just fun for me that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most like human and natural and obvious answer, right?
Yeah.
Because when you think about the ways we consume other types of art, like film or food is art in my world, right? You don't just eat one kind of food. You don't just watch one type of movie.
Right.
So like as a creative person, I mean, also like as a listener, there's not people that just listen to one kind of music. I mean, there are people that are like that, but we call them losers, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, if you listen to all kinds of stuff and you eat all kinds of stuff and you watch all kinds of stuff, like, why wouldn't you want to make all kinds of stuff?
Right, yeah. Actually, I remember seeing something, the lead singer of Bad Omens, Noah Sebastian, I think his last name
That sounds right.
Yeah. He was, he was on like one of his streams or whatever and talking about it. And he's like, because Bad Omens is making like different stuff nowadays too, and like all the like metal. I think I try to be respectful with any genre I go into. Like if I'm gonna make a metal record, like I want to really know what I'm doing and not like just like step into this genre that I have no respect for. It's like I love metal music. Like I know what I like, and I know how to convey it through my influences and create something of my own from it. But I don't want to fucking listen to metal all the time.
Sure.
I don't. Like,
yeah, of course.
Of course, there's times where that's all I listen to, but sometimes I get into different moods where I want to listen to pop music or R&B. So I don't know why I should put myself into a box of making one thing if it's not like what I'm feeling all the time. Yeah. That's just the kind of artist I am. Like some people love metal and nothing else, and that's all they listen to, and that's great. Like, but for me, it's just, I just do what I want.
So you started out rapping. So I imagine in like a performance standpoint, that was like solo performance, not being on stage with other musicians.
Yeah. I mean, by the time I started performing, I was already out of the, the box of just being a rapper.
Gotcha. So you were like working with other musicians by the time you started like doing live shows. And did that affect the sound at all? Like once you start working with other people in that capacity?
I mean, yeah, of course. But like when I say I started rapping, like I mean it was like early, like I was on SoundCloud. Like,
Yeah,
I wasn't even
like you were. It wasn't like
Yeah.
a releasing music and really trying to make it happen. It was more like
it was more of like just testing the waters.
finding yourself, finding your
like,
voice. Yeah,
which is like one of those things these days where, and look, the music was bad. Like it was, it is scrubbed from the internet. You will never find these songs. But like that those were my training years, as like I call it. Like you know, back in the day, whenever musicians first started making music, like nobody heard it. Like nowadays, like if you're gonna post something, like it's on there and it can get spread on social media like wildfire. Next thing you know, if your music, if you're just starting music and you don't really know what you're doing and you put songs out and you're trying to just like, see how things work and see how things sound, and then you're getting clowned on by everybody on whatever you posted on, like YouTube is like, they are ruthless.
Oh, for
in
sure.
The comments. Like they just like love to hate people on YouTube. I don't know what it is about YouTube, but I swear it's like anytime like I post a short, like I'll get a couple comments like, oh, this is great. I love this song. Where can I find it? And then another song's like, kill yourself. I'm going to find you and destroy you. Or like, it's like, I don't know. Like they're so mean.
Yeah,
They're so mean. But that's a weird tangent. I just had to get
No, I mean, I feel I would say
everything's documented now. Like
Oh,
all your early songs where you're like really honing your craft is all documented and it's part of you. Like you can't start your career from a point where you've put your reps in and now you know what you're doing and you've got everything down from the sound of everything and the production of everything. It's like, no, wherever you're first starting at, because you're gonna want to put it out. And it's going to go out there and that's going to resonate with people that this is that artist. Like that's how he sounds. And it's just, I don't know. It's a weird world we live in now.
Yeah. I mean, like stuff. In a similar way, like a lot of people know me from like maybe like the late 2000s when I was doing solo hip hop stuff. That's how I met a lot of people that I know. And a lot of people that I still know to this day that haven't fucking seen me live in like 1,000 fucking years still think that I'm like the guy doing solo rap shows. And it's like, I haven't done anything like that really in a long time.
Right.
Every once in a while, a friend might ask me to hop on something and I'll do it. But like, it's not my main focus by any means. But because that's how I was introduced to people, even like 15 years ago, it's like, I am that forever now.
Oh yeah.
And like, I certainly don't want to be known as that.
Right.
I mean, there's some of that stuff that is okay. And some of it that I would prefer not to think about, but like, it's just weird to be like judged like that.
Yeah, I mean, I run into dudes that I went to high school with, that, you still doing the music thing? You still doing music?
And I'm like, the music thing.
I just sold out a show last month. Yeah, and I just got millions of streams on my songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you take it with a grain of salt because like not everyone's gonna keep up with everything you're doing all the time, and I understand that. But like, and then sometimes like I remember, I'm not gonna name any names, but like one of the dudes I went to high school with, like who is like one of those guys who's like, oh, you still doing the music? Like whenever my show got sold out, like he texted me and said, is this still Seth Truskowski? And I said, yeah, who's this? And then he told me who he was. And he said, I just want to say I'm so proud of you for, always, you just keep going. Like you don't stop. And, that was cool. To hear stuff like that is cool. So you take it, with a grain of salt because it is what it is.
Yeah. So, in regards to releasing music now, right? In terms of like doing it legit or however you want to phrase it, like actually like putting effort into putting together a good song, recording it well, getting it, all of your branding together, all of that, right? Like that's the mode that we're in. Yeah. How long have you been in this mode?
From, I would say as soon as I got out of high school, really, because again, I think I was still just doing the SoundCloud thing at first. And, I had the conversations with my family about, when you get out of high school, it's like, what are you going to do? Like, and I remember having a conversation at a dinner table where they were asking me that, what are you going to do question? And I was like, well, I just want to do music, really. And they were like, it was like audible groan from everyone. Like, no, like, what are you talking about? You can't do that. It's like, I was like, that's all I want to do. So that's what I'm going to do. And I feel like ever since then, there was a point where I was like, okay, I got to get rid of the $20 Amazon microphone. I got to stop using my brother's old laptop. I got to get some real equipment.
Sure.
If I'm going to make it, like, if I'm really going to go for it, like, I got to take it serious. So I got myself a legit setup and didn't know how to work any of it. But, you know, this day and age, you go on YouTube, you can find out anything.
Totally.
You know, like, I don't know how to use Logic Pro 10. I don't know how to use a freaking, you know, whatever I have, like what equipment I need, but you just figure it out and piece it together and you just keep doing it and it just gets better. So, I mean, since 2017, that's when I graduated high school, I've been doing it like as a thing that I want to pursue for a full-time career.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like you have these moments along the way that make you feel like you're right there. And then, you know, maybe it fizzles out but you just keep building on it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just keep going.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because like that concept of like almost being right there.
Yeah.
Like that's so subjective.
Yeah.
So like, what is that to you? Like what is there?
Well,
where are you trying to get?
Well, I'm a very goal-oriented guy when it comes to like everything in my life. And I remember like I have a whiteboard that has like these goals on it. And like one of the goals on it was to hit 1 million streams on a song. So when I finally did that, my song Secondhand High hit 1 million streams. And next thing you know, the Post-Gazette is reaching out to me to interview me about like, oh, this Ambridge local artist just hit 1 million streams on Spotify. And the article goes out and it gets all these shares. And I got teachers from my high school who are sharing it like, this kid went to my school and he's, you know, blowing up. And then like people saying like, oh my God, this guy made it. And it's like, well, I didn't, I haven't really made it. You know, I had a milestone, but just little things like that, like the goals I hit, like, and selling on a show was always one of those goals too, which I did. You know, and that's a weird goal because like, I mean, the room I sold out was like 225 people, which is like, you know, but it still counts, still a sellout show.
It's still a lot of fucking people, man.
Yeah. And it's like, it's as you're playing shows and you start to realize like, hey, it's like not as easy as you think to get people into a room. So like getting over 200 people in a room is a huge accomplishment if you haven't done it before. Yeah. So little things like that.
I mean, honestly, like getting the attention economy of the year 2026 is brutal.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've been recording this podcast now for maybe about 13 minutes. Mm-hmm. We're lucky if there's anybody still fucking here. You know, like it's just like, which I know there are people here. Shout outs to y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Love you. But you know, it's like, if you can get anybody to like listen to more than fucking 10 seconds of a song,
right?
That's a fucking huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
And then let alone get them to fucking come out to a show.
Right.
Times 220? That's fucking money. Crazy, brother.
I mean, I was like, I was having this conversation with like my band. I don't remember when, but I was like, there are over 200 people here that put their credit card down, paid money, left their house on a Saturday night to come see us play music.
It's huge.
Like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
especially because like a lot of those people probably aren't like music people. You know, you get a lot of people that are in the scene that go to other people's shows because they're a part of the community, right?
Yeah.
But if this is just like a normal person, this is like their one night out that week, maybe even that month, depending on their schedule.
Absolutely.
Maybe some of them had to get fucking babysitters if they got kids or calling off. You know, it's like a huge commitment.
Yeah, for sure. And there was plenty of stories like that, like leading up to the show. Because I keep in contact with my fans. Like, they DM me, I'm gonna respond. Like, until I'm like super mega famous that I legitimately can't keep up with everybody. Like, I respond to everybody. And, you know, they tell me like, oh my God, I got like, hey, I want to come to your show. I got to find a babysitter. 2 weeks later, hey, I found that babysitter. I'll be there. I'll see you Saturday. And I'm like, hell yeah. Like, I'll see you there. I can't wait. So like, yeah, it's real life people like with real life stuff going on. And the fact that they can commit enough to like, and a lot of them are just, they found my music on TikTok or they found my music here. So they don't really know me yet. And they're still taking that chance to come out on a Saturday night is like, yeah, you know, you're doing something right at that point, I think.
Yeah, no, it's huge. You know, in regards to now, since you started this journey of like career building or whatever the fuck we want to phrase it as around 2017, right? Mm-hmm. We have almost like a decade's worth of experience now at this point, you know? I'm curious if there's like one thing that you think has been like the most valuable in regards to getting to a point where you are able to like sell out a show. Like, what do you think is one of the most valuable things that you've done or learned in that time period that's allowed you to kind of get to this point?
Well, you gotta really step outside your comfort zone. Like, the whole reason I'm having like kind of this boom right now with music, like where I'm able to actually sell tickets. Like, I just played last night and opened for a couple bands, and I got people to come out to see me, be the first opener, at 8 p.m. Like, it's stepping outside your comfort zone and doing things you wouldn't do. Like, for the longest time, I avoided TikTok. Like, whenever TikTok was first like booming and like all these songs were like becoming number one because they went viral on TikTok, it's almost like I saw it like, well, the waters are already muddied there. Like, it's not going to happen to me because like there's too many people already doing it. Like, what are the chances? And what I got to do? I got to make videos every day of myself talking. I'm not doing. That's not me. I'm not doing that. Like, I just want to make music. It's like, and then you come to a point where it's like, you're doing a lot of things, but like, you're not connecting with the fans. And it's like, Instagram is a fucking cesspool. It's like, I don't know what you have to do on Instagram to get your following up these days on there. Cause it's like, I don't know. Like, I've tried, it feels like I've tried everything and I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But, I had a meeting with my manager and we were talking about TikTok, and, she was always really heavy about, you gotta start posting. You gotta start posting every day. And to me, that was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then I just started with just, and TikTok's great too because you don't have to start out just posting videos yourself. You can do carousel where you just put a picture up, you put some text over it. Hey, if you like this band, you might like this song, and
Sure.
You start with those, and then you start to get like, some traction, some comments, people like, hey, I love this song, I'm downloading it right now. And then it's like, okay. And then like one day you're going to have a video that it goes from like, hey, this video got 200 views. Oh my God, this one got 2,000. Oh, this one got 5,000. You start getting all this traction. And next thing you know, I'm like, I have something here that I can really build on. And we started talking like, we should book a show now. Like, we should book a show right now and try to capitalize on this momentum that we have from TikTok. And that's what we did. We got a show and we had less than 2 months. I think it was like a month and a half to sell this show to people. And just from TikTok, we sold it out. And if that was me going from like, hey, I'm trying to convince 50 of my friends and family to come see me play. And now in less than 2 months, I've convinced over 200 strangers to come see me play. And it's all from something that I was avoiding doing for years in my career. Like, I had the streaming numbers, I had the monthly listeners, like I had all that stuff, but I didn't have the connection with the actual people who were listening to the music. And all it took was me taking one risk of stepping out my comfort zone for one thing, and it paid off. So
sure.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, because it's like, one of two things are going to happen, right? Either you make the account, post content that already exists because you've been trying to push it on other platforms, and either nobody likes it or new people find you.
Right. Yeah.
It's like really not that
it's like,
much
what
of
do
a
you have
loss.
to lose at that point? Yeah.
And this is coming from somebody that is still actively avoiding starting a TikTok account. So I'm like,
well,
I'm digesting this.
Yeah,
and I think that these are all very valid points. I think that like for me, it's what I'm acknowledging and what I'm observing here is I think it's really crucial to have somebody in your corner that's able to push you outside of that comfort zone. When you're doing everything yourself, I think for me, at the end of the day, and this is an excuse, but I think it's a reasonably valid one, I do a lot of shit and I just don't have the capacity to like do another thing.
Right.
But also, if you do that other thing and you get better results from doing that thing, maybe I'll then do more TikTok and less Instagram if I'm getting the results that I'm looking for.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really lucky now that I have Allie working with me because she is, I was doing a lot by myself, but there wasn't a lot of structure. Even where I thought there was structure, there wasn't really structure. And she's kind of brought that into my career with, just promoting and different things and keep me on schedule with everything I'm supposed to do at a certain time. We text all the time, like throughout the day while I'm at work about like what's going on and what we need to do.
Yeah.
So like having somebody like that is crucial. Like I've always heard like, they say teamwork makes a dream work. Like that
They
is
do.
true. You need a good team around you if you're gonna really be successful.
Yeah.
And I was so stubborn and hard-headed my first years of my career that I was like, fuck that. I don't need anybody. I can do this on my own.
Totally.
And I get my million streams and I get a couple million streams and I got a big head because I think, oh, I did this all by myself. What can I do by myself? It's like, well, you're not Superman. You can't do everything sometimes. Like,
Totally.
You have to humble yourself and let people in and trust people.
Yeah.
to do that.
And things take time. That's the thing is like, you were able to do so much by yourself, but it took almost a decade, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, do you have another decade?
Right.
Or do you want to pick up things?
Do you want to be that? Do
so
you want
you kind
to
of,
Yeah.
you need to, this is also coming from somebody that does entirely way too much stuff themselves and has no help from fucking anybody. I think it would be very, very crucial to be able to have somebody that can look at things from a different perspective. Because when you're on that like creative mode, it's so easy to just be like, I'm right because it's my idea.
Right.
And sometimes maybe you are, but you need like, I don't know, just
bounce ideas off each other and like I said, just humbling yourself a little bit. Like, maybe you don't know everything you think you know all the time.
you absolutely don't.
Because
that's the one thing. If you're deciding to make music as a career, you're already an idiot.
You're already crazy.
Yeah, you're a fucking lunatic.
yeah. Which I say that a lot too. I say if you like, people will ask me like, what do you have to do to get these results? And I said, well, number one, you have to be fucking insane. You have to be crazy.
Yeah.
Like, there's a big, I don't know how big of a conversation it is, but it is something I've seen in the last few months, especially since I started like selling tickets and stuff. It's like that the Pittsburgh music scene is like dead. Like that there's like nothing going on and that people don't support live music and I just don't agree. Like I just don't. Like,
I don't agree either. I just think that nobody knows how to promote themselves.
Exactly. And that's the thing is like people will run to social media and talk about it and they'll blame the promoters, they'll blame the venues, they'll blame the people in the city for nobody coming out and supporting. And it's like everybody but themselves that they're blaming is really the problem here. And, there are so many people, and I know it because I've been doing it. There's so many people in this city who are excited to see new Pittsburgh artists come through. Like Pittsburgh is the most passionately, passionately crazy about their own city. Like everybody, I would say like a majority of people who live in Pittsburgh, if you're a sports fan, especially, like I'm a huge sports fan. Like I love my Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. Like we are so happy that we are about being from Pittsburgh, like the whole thing. And it's like people, it's kind of the same thing in music. Like when people, when I'm on TikTok and I say, hey, I'm trying to build my fan base here in Pittsburgh, my hometown. And people are like, hell yeah. Like we got this guy from Pittsburgh. He's representing us. Like, let's go see him. Like just about getting yourself out there and promoting yourself the right way. And these people are going to be excited to come to your show. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be moms and they're going to be, all different walks of life who need babysitters to come out, but they're going to go because they're excited to support you. And I think people maybe just aren't crazy enough to find those people. You gotta be a little bit insane with your process of promoting, I guess.
And there's another part of this where a lot of people that make art and get into this world are not always the most extroverted people, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're like the lonely little weirdos, right? You know, that hung out by themselves and learned how to like write songs or paint or whatever the fuck it is. And then you get to this point where you get a really cool thing.
Right.
And you have this product that you can go and play shows, but now it's like, oh fuck, I have to talk to people.
Yeah.
I spent my entire childhood learning how to make beats, not making friends, right? So it's like, how the fuck do I do this? It's so weird.
Yeah. And I'm not saying my formula works for everybody. Like this is what I found works for me. I'm not saying like, hey, if you're not on TikTok, like you're fucked. Like maybe you're not. I don't know. But I'm just saying like I found that it works for me because I stepped outside of my comfort zone. Totally. And that's kind of the point of what I'm saying. Like not everybody is comfortable speaking into a camera or being on camera. Like I've gotten more comfortable with it because I'm doing it a lot more now. But like, that's not the point. I'm not saying go put yourself on camera. I'm saying take yourself out of your comfort zone. Whatever that is, find it and try it.
Well,
Like at the end of the day, like that's your best bet if you're going to try and do anything.
Yeah,
music.
I think that with the bands and people that are like, oh, there's no music scene. I think a lot of that can come from not stepping outside of comfort zones because a lot of these people, there's a lot of like bubbles of bands where it's like the same 5 bands that only play shows with each other at the same 2 venues every other month.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course there's not going to be any growth. You have to do some weird shit. Like I'd mentioned to you, like we played a horror movie convention in Ohio this past weekend. And like, that was a risk. It's like, is there going to be good sound, good stage? What's this going to be? And it ended up being awesome versus just like, oh, like, let's just play another show with these bands that we already know because we know that the same 30 people are going to be there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But also too, I think for some people that is maybe their ceiling. That's what they're looking for. It's just to be a part of that small community. Maybe they're not trying to do anything bigger than that.
It depends on your goals. Like for me, like I love playing in Pittsburgh. I love being a part of Pittsburgh. I want to become the biggest Pittsburgh artist that we have. I really do. I also want to go beyond Pittsburgh. Like my goals are higher than just being the biggest local hometown artist. You know, like I want to go further than that. But if you're happy with what you're doing and you're just playing shows to have fun and your friends come out and you guys jam out, that's fucking awesome. Have fun. Do that. Like, but there are plenty of amazingly talented artists who want the same things I do, but they fall into this category of just blaming everybody but themselves in terms of why people aren't buying tickets to their show. This is the music business at the end of the day. Like people forget about that. It's a business. And there's a lot of amazing venues here and a lot of awesome promoters who are excited to have you, but they're putting money to have you at their place. They expect you to bring the money back.
Yeah.
And if you want to get paid, like if you like, it is not just because you can play a good song and get on a stage that you deserve to get paid. You have to be a draw. You have to bring people. And that's it at the end of the day. It's like the venues are there, the promoters are there, the people are there. How are you going to get them to come out and see you?
Yeah. I mean, like, unfortunately, it's not a charity. And you have the harsh reality where, like, I won't name drop any of them, but there's been several smaller venues which have had to do like fundraisers and things like that because they don't, in a way, it's like their kindness to the scene of just like letting anybody play, letting any show happen, which is important. But there is the negative side of that where it's like now all of a sudden we don't have money to operate this fucking business because we're offering this platform for everybody without being so strict on who can play. And like, again, I don't want there to be rules, but as you said, it is a business. So it gets real fucking complicated real quick.
Yeah. Like I said, music business, not the music. Everybody has fun. Everyone gets paid for no reason. Like it is what it is. Like, and I can understand it being discouraging whenever you play a show and 5 people come and you don't make any money. And you're picturing this big moment of walking out into a sea of people who are like jumping up and down. And then it's just, Mark and Tom over here standing in front of giving you the head nod while you're, putting your heart into your performance. But, you just gotta understand it for what it is at the end of the day. Like it's a give and take. These people are giving you a platform. You got to bring the people in and you got to figure out how to do it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to the creative process, writing, recording, releasing, what has your current sort of structure or schedule been for just like trying to drop content?
Yeah. Well, in terms of like music, I've kind of, I spent majority of my career, the years of my career, putting out a lot of music, like sometimes weekly, sometimes once a month. And there wasn't a year, like this is the first, I've dropped 1 song this year. And it's very unusual for me because it's already May. And for me to only drop 1 song is not the norm. And that's more just because I've spent year after year like putting out all this music, not playing shows, not selling tickets, not trying to build my social media. And this year I've really just focused on, like booking shows, growing the social media, doing all that stuff. It's kind of taken me out of my creative bubble where I'm like just pumping out music all the time.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad thing. Like, because my catalog is ridiculously big for the kind of artist I am. Because like I mean, I've been doing music since 2017, but like, you know, I didn't start actually putting out songs on Apple Music and Spotify until 2018. And then I had like a name change in 2019. So it's really like 5 to 6 years I've been really putting out music on streaming platforms.
Yeah.
But my catalog shows that like I don't even know how many songs I have, but I have plenty of songs that people who have never heard of me before can go back and listen to. So I'm not like kicking myself that I haven't like put out all this music already so far.
Yeah, it's
year.
like you have a lot of stuff that while it's like old to you, it's still new to them. And if you feel like confident in that work and feel that it's still a fair representation of who you are today,
for
it's
sure.
like why not try to squeeze some juice out of this thing that you put all this effort into, even if it was years ago.
Yeah, but typically, I mean, my process with making the music has changed over the years too. Like when I first started, it was like I was just like killing myself. Like I would, you know, I work a full-time job still where I'm a server, and you know, I would work till 11 o'clock at night. I would come home, get in the studio, work from like 11 to 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, sleep for a few hours, come back, and I would just do that. Like, and I would make these albums that like I was putting out consistently and not getting any streams. I was just like, you know, honing my craft, like what we were talking about earlier. And then I kind of pivoted. I was like, okay, this is not sustainable to do it this way. Like I'm exhausted and this is not good for me. And I eventually kind of went into a more of a single by single approach where I'm putting out these singles one at a time. And I'm not always focusing on an album all the time where I'm like trying to cram 10 songs in to like, you know, put them all out at once. And there's kind of like an argument. Like I'm an album guy. I love albums, especially like if an artist was dropping single by single by single and it was all for one album, I would wait until the album was done before I listen to anything.
I agree. I understand.
I love the concepts of albums and the transitions into each song and how it tells a story through the way, you know.
Yeah.
But the great thing about being a newer artist who's trying to build this fan base is you can, and I had this conversation last night with my bassist, because we both agreed we love albums. But when you're a new artist, like it's probably better to do single by single, in my experience. Like if you're trying to get new fans for every new thing you drop, you know, single by single is good, you know, easy way for people to digest the content like as it's coming.
Yeah.
But if you have this approach of like, hey, I really love albums. I really love making a big body of work and a big piece of art, but I'm trying to grow my fan base. I mean, if you think about it like this, if you drop 10 singles for a 10-song album and you're dropping each single one at a time and you're getting all these new fans, you're still, if you decide at the end, you're going to put them all into one album and drop the album, guess what? Now you have an album too. And there's going to be plenty of people who have not heard any of those singles you put out. They're just going to see the album.
Yeah.
And and those people that you're trying to get that love albums like you do, they're going to have their chance there too. And the people, and you're going to kind of like build from both ends, from the single aspect and the album aspect.
I basically did that backwards on our last album where we did the whole fucking album, released it, like physical copies, everything, did the release show. And it's like, okay, we're going to treat, this is the real world. These are the shows that people that already know us. I'm not going to make them wait for this record. But then every month moving forward, it's like, just treat every single song as a single, put together video content for it and promote it to the new people online.
Yeah, that works
It's new to us either way. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, when we're still just getting juice out of this thing that already exists. 'Cause it's like either people are going to find it, and if they really fuck with it, it's like, oh, great, there's a whole fucking album that's already here. Right. You know?
Right. And like I said, you get the joy of like creating a big body of work.
Yeah.
And also the step-by-step process of, you know, each single gets its own love one at a time, which also feels really good.
I think
which is not something you could do as like, if you're like a big artist, you know, like a Post Malone or something. Like if he dropped like 20 singles and then, hey, I got this new album coming, and then drops the album and it's just the 20 singles you already heard, you know, he can do that, or he can't do that, but like you can do that because you're, you know what I'm saying.
You're still, your work is still kind of in like this discovery phase where people are still just even figuring out and finding out who you are. And I think that if you are able to, just put I think, okay, the point I wanted to make was that a thing that bums me out about releasing albums, if you don't put that extra attention into like making sure you're going to create content for every song regardless, is there's always songs that get thrown off, right? Every time I've dropped an album in the past, if you like look at the streams, it's like the first quarter of the album always has the most streams. And I don't even think that's because people aren't fucking with it. It's just like they might only have 20 minutes between their house and the grocery store or where or at the gym or whatever, you know? And it's like...
Yeah, and not everyone's like the album consumer type.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect anybody to sit down with a body of my work for 50 minutes and listen to it. That's crazy. But, you know, a lot of people will go back and forget. And I feel like if you're just like, well... reminding everybody about this body of work that exists, but with new stuff to them. Like, oh, I bet you didn't listen to track 6, bitch. Here it is. You know? And like, oh yeah, I didn't.
I mean, it's like it, and the whole thing about like how I love like looking at an album like a movie almost. Like you're not gonna like start watching a movie 3/4 of the way in and then watch the beginning later and then watch the middle and then watch the end. Like you're gonna start it from the beginning. So like whenever I'll tell a friend about like this, oh my God, this album is so fucking good. Like, you gotta look at it. And then they're like, yeah, I'll check it out. And then you see them the next time and I'm like, hey, did you check that out? And they're like, I listened to a few songs like towards the end. And it's like, no, you're not fucking, like you gotta start from the beginning. Like you're not experiencing it the way I did and how I want you to experience it. So, you know. But. Yeah,
it's tough too, especially like, I think like in my position, and I imagine your position as well, where like there isn't one song that I have that I feel like really fully describes who I am as an artist, right?
Yeah, of course not.
You need to have like a few, right? So it's like being able to put that juice into promoting each of those things to tell a bigger story, I think is so much more important. I think that's why I like albums and probably like you like albums too.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I need all of this time. I like having, you know, slow songs, fast songs.
And I'm a big like, even in my shows, like the intro is super important to me. Like I love when there's just a fucking really dope intro before someone comes out to play a show. Like we were talking about like, I think my drummer was telling me about 9 Inch Nails. They play like this super like eerie music for like an hour. Like they don't want any other music playing, just this super eerie music with a bunch of fog that just sets the mood before they come out. And it's like, I don't go to that extent, but like I do love like...
You would if you could.
Well, I love a good like solid intro. Like when we played my headline show a couple months ago, just going over with the sound guide, and like it was the fun house at Mr. Small, so it's not like a super big production, but
shout out to like, Fletcher.
Shout out Fletcher, man. That dude is the fucking best. And we can talking about sound guys is a whole other conversation. But Fletcher is awesome. But I just said like, hey, like, you know, before I come out, like kill the lights and you know have them come on at this time, and just like I said, when you kill the lights, like just make them wait. Like don't play right away. Just like make them wait. You know, just like those little things I love. Same thing with an album too. Yeah, like the tension, the building tension. Like when an album has like a real sick intro track that just like gets you into it, like but especially whenever it's an album you're anticipating and you're excited for it, and it just gives you that goosebumps like right at the beginning. Like I love that shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of live shows and having catalogs of music and playing in so many different genres, I actually wanted to ask you about your format for building a live show and a set, in terms of the fact that you do have a lot of different styles of music that you're operating in, right? And you want to try to figure out a way to make it cohesive to create this like experience.
Right.
And what has that been like for you?
Yeah. Well, it can depend on a couple things. Like I played last night and I was an opener on a show. So if I'm opening for somebody, it'll like, what genre are they? You know, like, are they more of a heavy rock? Are they more of a pop? I can kind of adjust
Pick and choose from your catalog.
I can kind of adjust my set to match the vibe of the thing. But for a headline show, I kind of look at it like a roller coaster. Like, okay, like, is this one of those roller coasters that starts here, like high and goes down and like up and down? And like it's not even about the genres, it's about the energy of each song too. Like, where does the energy lie here? And I kind of just piece it together that way of like, is starting, do I want to come out hot and like have people going and then slow them down and bring them back up? And I really look at it like that. Like I look at it as like a whole experience of a show.
For sure,
like I want people to be like, even if you don't necessarily love the music, like just watching me on stage, you're like, I fucking like, I love watching this guy. Like
Yeah.
he's entertaining. Like I want people to like, no matter what genre you love, there's going to be something there that you like and you're going to have a good time regardless. And it's like, and another thing too is like when you're playing these songs live, like a song that might be like a perfect example. I have a song called Softly that I play live, and it's definitely an R&B hip hop track. But when you play it live, you can add these licks of guitar in there and the drums and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, it sounds like a rock song. And someone might hear that who's a rock fan and be like, man, I don't usually fuck with that kind of music, but that was awesome. Like, I want to go check that out. So it's fun. I mean, you can play around with it and do different things live than you wouldn't do in the record.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a weird, it's kind of a, what do they say? Like a weird web I weave.
Sure, they can say that. Yeah.
Is that a saying?
It sounds like an album title. Write it down.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. It's just like kind of like a feel thing too. Like you kind of, you know, when you play a show, you learn from it. You take notes about like what you did wrong and what you could do better next time. And yeah, I just kind of piece it together that way.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
With, you know, now that you are in this sort of, I guess you mentioned that you had not been creating or releasing as much music,
Yeah.
right? I don't know how much you're like writing or if you're even are you taking a break from writing stuff too?
No, I always write. I mean, music for me is very, it's weird because it's a business. And like I said, like I want to do it to the fullest extent. Like I want to be big, but like at the end of the day, I do music also for a very selfish reason for myself because it's just my way of. And this is why I started. You know, I started writing lyrics, like writing raps when I was a kid. Like when I was, I don't know, in junior high, and you know, I had my childhood struggles as everyone does. You know, and I was a big like Eminem fan. And like, you know, you listen to Eminem's music and talking about his mom and, you know, his upbringing and his childhood about being like poor and everything. I was like, wait, I kind of have the same thing going on here. Not saying anything bad about my mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I started writing raps just kind of like venting my stresses as a child. And it was just kind of something I did that I didn't tell anybody about. And I would record little stuff on my phone of me, you know, rapping, and I just kept doing it. And like I got into high school and it was always something. I was literally the kid who was like writing raps on the back of his notebook while there's like a teacher teaching, like the whole cliche thing about like, I didn't care about school. I was just writing raps. I was that kid. I really was. And then there was like a talent show thing in my junior year of high school. I went to Ambridge High School. It was called Mr. Ambridge. And really what it was like a male beauty pageant. But it was like a funny thing, like you know.
Yeah.
So there was like all kind of like skits we did, and we all had like sashes, and like we all did like just, it was mainly like a comedy thing, but it was a talent portion. So I was like, man, like this is a good opportunity for me to like do something here. Like maybe I could finally show people what I've been doing. So I just went for it, and it was like so. Like nobody was expecting that out of me because like nobody knew I was writing raps. Nobody knew anything. And I wrote a song about my childhood, about my life really, and my struggles. And I kind of did it like there's an Eminem music video for his song When I'm Gone, where he's like kind of speaking at an AA meeting and he starts rapping the song. I kind of did something like that. I had like a podium set up and I rapped the song and had a video play behind it. And it was like, it went over so well. Like I got like the first ever standing ovation I've ever received. And I remember just feeling like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is what I'm doing. And that's where it really started. But it's always been like, when I write, it's not like, okay, I got to make a song this week. I got to write something tonight. I write on the way home from lunch. I write in the car a lot.
Sure.
Just whenever it hits me. Whenever I feel like I have to say something, I'm going to write. And thankfully, I'm an attention whore, so I have a lot to say. So I write a lot. But yeah, that's the one part of the music business that I don't look at for money. I don't look at for Instagram followers, TikTok followers. This is me. This is like what I do. And once I have that piece of art, and then that's whenever I take it, it's like I take it from outside the business and I bring it into the business and like, okay, how do I get it to as many ears as I can? So it's a very like primal thing for me to do. So it's hard to give that structure. It's hard to give that a certain like, you can't like, I read things about artists like they have a 9 to 5. They go to the studio from 9 to 5 and they make and record and then they go home. I don't know if I could ever do that because I don't ever force it. It kind of just happens.
For sure.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if I was like, which I mean, I have been, like, I do a lot of client work, like some recording, mixing, and mastering and stuff. Yeah. And that type of work that's not for me, I do try to keep it on more of like a professional schedule.
Yeah.
But anything that's for me, I couldn't see myself like trying to schedule out my own creativity. That seems insane.
Yeah. And most of the time, like when I write something, I'm so excited about it that I go and record it that night. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So, and like I said, it kind of just works for me because I do it so often that I just end up with a bunch of songs and I don't really have to have a schedule with it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like now, like I'm writing, but this weekend I played a show, I'm here, I'm doing all this stuff. Then I still got a full-time job throughout the week. So it's not that I'm like, it's not that I don't want to record. I'm kind of just like, I'm trying to build other stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
So, and I have a few months this year where I'm probably won't be playing as many shows. So I'll have more time and I'll probably get back in the studio more. And I'll definitely have a lot more music coming this year. Like no doubt about it. It's just slowed down a little bit. Yeah.
With, the music that you are planning to record, that you're writing and things like that, is the live band aspect going to be a part of the studio stuff as well? Or is that going to be more of a live thing, or is it a mix?
No, my live band is just for live shows. I work with a lot of different producers for the actual music part.
Yeah.
I'm more of just a writer, producer, and engineer. Like, I go to a lot of different producers for stuff.
Yeah.
That being said, like I'm starting to get more in tune with some of the local bands, and we've talked about working together and doing stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm a solo artist. Like I'm not a band. Like a lot of times I can understand why everyone assumes I'm a band because I play live with a band, and Badluv sounds like a band name, not like a solo artist name.
Yeah.
But truthfully, I'm just a solo artist.
Yeah.
And thankfully I have a lot of really great friends who know how to play certain instruments that I need. Like my drummer Landon is like my best friend since the first grade, and then his brother, who I'm also really close with, happens to play the bass. And then my guitarist, we used to train in MMA together a few years ago, and he happens to play guitar. So I kind of ended up with like a bunch of
it's kind of lucked out
best friends and bandmates at the same time. But Landon, for example, like he, I don't know if he's always going to be in the band. He's got his own life. He's engaged. He's bought a house, got a 9 to 5 job. It's one of those deals where it's like he's not going to be able to make every show. So I'll have other drummers fill in. And same thing with like, Trey, his brother, who was my bassist, just moved to Nashville. He's going to come back for some shows, but he's not going to be there all the time. So I'll have different bassists fill in. So it's not like, I've always heard like having a band, maybe you can talk about this because you're in a band.
Yeah.
So I've heard like having a band can feel like, if you're like making music together, it can feel like having like 4 different girlfriends at the same time because you want to please them all and like make everything work. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that because I produce everything myself, and it's all about like what I want it to sound like at the end of the day, which is fun for me because I don't have to ask anybody their opinion on it before I do it. But yeah, I would say
there's positives and negatives to everything. I mean, when you are in a band with people, it is a relationship,
right?
It's a creative relationship, which can be just as rocky as a romantic one
right.
at times. But no, I mean, the people that I work with, I love to death. We've worked together for so long, and we have we speak a language that I think works really well.
Yeah.
But in regards to Badluv as an overarching thing, like if you were to describe like what the music you do is then at this point, like if you had to be put
like
into
a genre?
Like what would you say? Because it's so.
I guess the closest thing is just to call it alternative.
Fair enough.
That's like the best way I could describe it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, what is alternative at the end of the day? It's like the alternative to rock. It's the alternative to that. It's like I wish I could.
I feel like it's like it's under that like rock umbrella,
Yeah.
especially with like what the lines of what like rock music is. Like if you listen to like rock radio
Right.
nowadays, like you hear everything from like, you know,
Yeah.
like so like an old like legacy like Metallica song to like
Yeah.
21 Pilots,
Yeah.
which is like, you know,
Yeah.
those couldn't be any different.
And I think a lot of people, like even before all this genre blending stuff started happening, I think a lot of people don't realize sometimes what they're listening to, they don't even know is rock. Like there's some, like John Mayer is rock.
Sure,
He's
yeah.
not a country artist. He's not a pop artist. He's a rock artist. Like the Beatles, like that's a rock group. Like sure, they're pop stars maybe, but like that's rock music. Like it's not pop music to me at least. Like, so the genre of rock in itself is already broad enough. Like you have acoustic rock, you have all this different types. Like for me, like I've always like a lot of times when I'm talking about it, I'll say, oh, I'm an alt rock pop artist, you know? So like that kind of like covers a majority of what I do. But like then I make a song like my song Black and White, which is like a fucking metal, like punch a hole through a wall, like screaming type of song. Which, and then I have a song, my Say Honey, like the band, the real pop, just like acoustic stuff that I'll play in the same show. And like somehow I end up like last night I started playing like the super like aggressively heavy rock. And then a few songs later I was singing my song Say Honey, which is just like a feel good pop ballad kind of thing. So yeah, it's tough, but like I think if you see a show, you'll understand like where the flow, like you won't even notice like how I ended up here. How the hell did it go from here to here? Just like that.
Well,
it just happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I really liked the comment that you made earlier when talking about structuring the set and how it's not based off of genre as much as it is energy.
Yeah.
I feel like that works. It makes so much sense, especially to me as someone that outside of like band stuff, I work as a DJ and I do a lot of like open format stuff. So it's not like really locked into a particular genre.
Right.
So it's like a lot of like, I will play whatever this night. It might be all kinds of wild music, but I'm thinking about what's the energy of the room and what can I get away with? It's almost exciting to be able to be like yin and yanging this whole night and like keeping the dance floor moving because it's like it is energy. It's nobody
and
really.
You'll be surprised like whenever you play, like when I play my song Black and White and it's like me growling and screaming and just this heavy like drums and riffs and guitar and everything. Someone who's like not a metalhead or like even listens to metal, you'll see them like bobbing their head like they're into it because they feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what music is at the end of the day. It's just like what like making you feel something. You know?
You know, with all of that being said, you know, like moving forward and like, is there any particular, even though you are keeping an open mind here and you're a creative and can't lock you down, brother, right? Is there any sort of like sound that you would like to gravitate towards more than something else? Like maybe anything that you may feel like you've creatively outgrown or maybe things that you haven't done yet that you want to try?
Well, like I said, I don't really do anything. Like I don't enter a genre to just like see what happens. Like if I'm making something, it's because I really like what I'm making. Like this whole harder rock metal kick I've been on, it's because I've been listening to a lot of harder rock and metal lately, and it's got me in the mood to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I've been talking about it. Like I am committed to finishing an album right now, but when I finish this album, there's a good chance I might start making some lighter pop stuff again, you know? And as far as like testing different waters I haven't been before, maybe one day I'll be really into country music and I'll say, you know what? I want to make a country record, you know? Like, why not? You know, like who's going to tell me no? And it's like, at the end of the day, I think no matter what genre I'm into, I think there's a certain sound to me that people resonate with. If you're a fan of my music, if you're listening to my metal stuff, if you're listening to my pop stuff, my R&B stuff, there's still something the same there. There's something there that's familiar that you've heard in other stuff that makes people enjoy it still, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's like I've kind of found my voice and you hear it no matter where it's at. It's still me. It's still Badluv. It's still, you know, I don't know.
I think that's the advantage or one advantage, I think, to being a solo artist in a way, is, right? Especially in terms of like the marketing and like the day-to-day fan connection, right?
Right.
Like you are telling a story that's about you as a human being and
Yeah.
not about like, oh, we are a band and
Yeah.
this is what we sound like. I think there's automatically an easier way to get the message across that this
Yeah.
is more than just like the style of music that I'm making. Like this is my story.
Right.
This is my life, and my life is going to change
Right,
from day to
right.
day, and it's going to evolve as
Yeah.
time
And
passes.
some people aren't going to like that, you know?
For
like,
sure.
I think there's a lot of genres or fans of genres. They're very like gatekeepy. They like to, you know, like, I don't know. Like my photographer is like a big like pop punk fan. Like we were talking about certain bands that like, he's like, I would play a band that I love. I was like, dude, if you're listening to this album, like we did a drive to Nashville recently and like I was playing this band. He says, man, I hate that I like this because they blew up on TikTok and that's annoying to me. I'm like, he's like, I'm just like, because he loves like the underground, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, now they're famous. Like now they have like all these like listeners now. Like it's not as special as it was. Like some people are like that. So like if I'm like just sauntering into this genre, I might get people who are like, this fucking guy is making metal now. Like, no,
Sure.
you know, like it is what it is. It's going to come with the territory. But like I said, anything I do, I try to have respect for. I try to like know what I'm talking about whenever I'm making a song. And yeah, it is what it is.
No, definitely. You know, so with, you know, your experience now in the local music scene and trying to get outside of it, if you know, get to that point where you want to start playing stuff out of town and all that, you know, what do you think how do you approach that in the format that you're in, right? Because like I'm asking this as somebody that I feel very similar to you in a lot of ways of like, I have this like open format style of music.
Yeah.
And it's easy to, you know, I know bands here that I can play with and things like that. But when you're trying to reach outside of your comfort zone, which we've been talking about, you know, how do you think you're going to approach that? What's going to be your sales pitch to other bands and promoters of like, take a chance on me.
Yeah.
I'm this guy that does everything.
Yeah. Well, I think number one, like I said, music business. If I'm bringing people to their venue, if I can prove that I'm going to sell these tickets, why the fuck wouldn't they want to have me in their venue? You know what I'm saying?
Fair
like,
enough, yeah.
Who cares who I'm bringing with me or like what I'm doing? Like, this guy's bringing people here. Who fucking cares what he's doing?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like that's how I see it. And I think that method will prove to be true. It's not gonna be easy. Like you gotta have somebody take a chance on you, you know, like, but that's just the having good faith that it's gonna happen, you know? Like not everything's guaranteed at the end of the day. But I think with my track record, what I do here, what I'm doing in Pittsburgh, where it goes in the next year, I think I will be able to find my place in other cities too. And like I said, at the end of the day, money talks. I can sell this many tickets. This is going to make you this much money. Are you going to have me or what? Or are you going to have this guy come in and sell 20 tickets and not do anything? Like, I think that's just the be all end all in terms of like when you're dealing with promoters and stuff, it's about money with them. You know, are you going to make, and it's about like Instagram followers too. Like how many Instagram followers you have. Like, so like that's a big thing too. Like I'm trying to build on that because they want to see like engaging content. Like when I make a post and say, hey, where do you want to come see me play? If I have like 30 people comment Cleveland, Ohio, that's something I could show to a promoter in Cleveland who is like, okay, like there's clearly people interested. That could be enough to get them to take a chance on me. So it's just about building your presence online and your city. I think that matters too, that you're selling out shows in your city first before you're going to a different city. It's kind of like what I want to do at the beginning of this year. Like I kind of had this idea in my head of like, hey, I want to really conquer Pittsburgh this year. Like I want to really like just kind of move up and up and up with what I'm doing. Should I say what we're doing in September?
This is like 2 weeks.
2 weeks? We can say it then. So, perfect example of like how I'm trying to move up and up the scale here. Like we just played the Fun House at Mr. Small's.
Yeah. And
we sold it out. My next headliner is on September 18th at the Thunderbird Music Hall in Lawrenceville.
Yeah.
Which is double the size of that venue. So I'm going for a sellout there. Like I'm going to do everything I possibly can to sell that out too. And then after that, what's double that, and we're going to find out and just keep going up and up and up until, we'll see what happens. And then it's kind of just rinse and repeat with other cities. Like if I'm going to Cleveland at the end of this month. I'm going to play this venue, see what I can do. When I come back, have more people come and just kind of do and then whenever you say, hey, I sold out in Pittsburgh. Hey, I sold out in Cleveland. When you go to Chicago, you can say, I've been selling out in these cities. You want to give me a shot? They give you the shot and then you do the same thing there. So that's my philosophy on it. And we'll see what happens,
Yeah.
Take more risk and just keep working every day to do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, outside of this, world exclusive show drop, is there anything else that you want to talk about that you're working on that you can spill the beans on, brother?
Spill the beans? Well, I spill the beans on my own a lot more than I probably should anyway, but she's nodding her head over there. Not really, man. It's just like, if anyone's still listening, which thank you for listening to us. I love this, by the way. Like, this is a lot of fun. Especially just having a conversation like this is just,
no doubt, yeah.
It's the best. Just come see a show. Come, like I said about the energy earlier, like whether you're a fan of rock, pop, R&B, hip hop, whatever you like, if you just love to see a show, like come check us out. And I promise you, you'll be like, even if you're like not sure about how you feel about the music, I guarantee you'll have a good time, if that makes sense. So if I could say anything to that, like just keep an eye out for these shows coming up because they're going to be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for coming by today. Yeah. We have made it. We've been talking for an hour.
Really?
Holy smokes.
That was
brother.
Last hour.
Yeah. We've been doing it. But again, really great to meet you. Good to sit down and talk with you.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for everything that you're doing. It's always nice to see hungry person with a good attitude that's doing cool stuff. Do it.
I will, man. I appreciate that.
I think it's nice.
I love you said I was hungry because I am.
Oh yeah,
starving.
You look like it. Famished.
Sucked out.
Get this boy a sandwich. AKA buy tickets, go to the shows, get his streaming numbers up.
That's right.
He's gonna take over. Biggest Pittsburgh artist.
Business.
Well, with all of that being said, that is all, folks. One more time, Badluv. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. I will be back again next week with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Brian Sykes-Howe. Start the Beat is the podcast. 2026 is the year. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of the people around you. Peace out. We did it. That was a podcast. Done. Hell yeah.